Listen, man, this is the post-game video that I just recorded after the Sixers lost to the Bucks. But I want you to call the show so I can react to your phone calls tomorrow on the live show. So here's the number. Call this number 484-831-8655. 484-831-8655. Call that number. Let it ring a couple times. It'll say I'm not available. Leave a message, and I will react to your messages live on the show tomorrow at 12 p.m. We're also doing a 10 a.m. show on Playback TV, watching highlights from around the NBA also. But yeah, call the number. Leave me a message. I want to hear from you. Sixers-Bucks, instant reaction. Thank you to everyone that came through the Playback stream, by the way. I'm going to try to do these videos after every single game, literally right after the game, because I want you to have my instant reaction right here on YouTube, okay? So the game just ended, and I just hit record on the phone. I don't even know what I'm going to say yet. My first thing is, shout out to Kelly Oubre. It is very Sixers, very, very Sixers for Kelly Oubre to have been the best player on the floor tonight. You tanked for 10 years, and the best player on the floor was a guy that you signed to the veteran minimum at the end of the offseason because nobody wanted him. That's just the most Sixers thing you could ever think of, okay? But he looked great. And he looks great because he fits great on this team. And he fits great on this team because there's no guys like Kelly Oubre on this team. I said this a lot after they signed him. He's going to look a lot better than he looked on some other teams because there's no guys like that. It's like when you haven't had a date in a while and you decide to finally hit up the fat chick on Tinder. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. She's going to look like a 10 now because you haven't had anything for a long time. Kelly Oubre looks like a superstar wing because we haven't had a wing in a million years. But he played a great game. I love his hustle. I love his defense. I love his athleticism. His shot was on for the most part tonight. You're going to get games where his shot is off. He did airball a floater 2 feet in front of the rim. That's just Kelly Oubre. But I loved what he brought to the table. All right. Joel Embiid looked, I don't know, just gassed and out of shape and slow in the beginning of the game. And I said it's going to take him about a month and a half to get into game shape. It's what he does. It's what happens every year. We just got to deal with it. He had a couple stretches in the towards the end of the second quarter. He had a stretch in the third quarter where his jumper was falling. Started the first half by hitting a three, then hit a mid-range jumper, then hit another three. He scored 8 points in the first, 2 minutes of the second half. So, Joel did some good things, did some bad things, some bad turnovers, some shots that I thought in the first half that I thought he could have finished at the rim that he kind of was looking for calls. And we're going to get to the officials. Oh, don't you worry. We're going to get to the officials. But, it wasn't Joel Embiid starts seasons out slow. He rehabs all off season. He does not work out in the offseason because he can't work out in the offseason. That's a fact. He literally ices his knees for 3 months. It wasn't the worst Joel Embiid game one that I've ever seen. I'll just say that. He contributed in a lot of ways, and I can't complain too much about it. Joel Embiid is Joel Embiid. He is what it is. He's going to be in MVP form in a month and a half. We just have to deal with it. Tyrese Maxey did what we knew Tyrese Maxey could do. And I loved it. I would have loved to see a little bit more clutch from Tyrese Maxey down the stretch in the fourth quarter. But overall, what he dropped, 29 or 30 points. I didn't look at the stat sheet yet. But overall, Tyrese Maxey played that role that we need him to play. He made big shots in big moments. He had big runs in big moments. A lot of times when it was stagnant, it was dead. What's going to happen? Where's the offense going to come from? Tyrese forces his way in the lane, makes a tough and one. Tough finish in traffic, a deep three, whatever it is. Tyrese is going to be that dude this year. And his confidence is only going to grow from this game on. There's no reason, especially if James Harden doesn't play, for Tyrese Maxey to not average 26 points per game this year. There's no reason for him to not average 26 points per game. Straight up. So I'm happy about what I saw from Tyrese. I loved what I saw from Jaden Springer in the first half, defensively, and just his ridiculous on-ball athleticism. If I was Nick Nurse, I would have had Jaden Springer in at the end of the game on Damian Lillard. You let Kelly Oubre ISO Damian Lillard, and he hit a vintage step back Dame 3 to basically put the dagger in us. But I liked what I saw from Jaden Springer. Tobias Harris did some things. Tobias Harris looked bad in the first half. I was telling him how much he sucked again in the first half. Second half, Tobias Harris had a couple runs, I got to admit. Tobias Harris did some things in the second half that I didn't expect to see from Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris was ISOing, and I was still in last year mode. I was still in last year mode where I don't want to see a Tobias Harris ISO ever. So I'm screaming no. And Tobias is scoring in ISO situations, and I'm saying, wait a minute, it worked. Wait a minute, it worked. Go ahead, Tobias, go off, Tobias. Specifically off the top of my head, I don't know what it was, a 7-point game or something. Tobias Harris just brings the ball up the floor and does a one-dribble step-back 3 from the top of the key. I haven't seen Tobias Harris do that since he played for L.A., maybe even Detroit. So there is hope that Nick Nurse can maybe get the best out of Tobias Harris. Maybe Tobias Harris under Nick Nurse looks like what Tobias Harris was supposed to look like. Other than that, on the Sixers end, I don't think we can do PJ Tucker the whole season, bro. I don't think we can do it. I don't think we can do PJ Tucker the whole season. He doesn't give you anything offensively. He gives you nothing. I didn't look at the box score like I said yet. I just hit record on the phone, but I would bet money that PJ Tucker scored 0 points. I don't remember seeing him score. Did PJ Tucker score in this game? I don't think he scored. I don't know if I have anything else to say about the Sixers. Tomorrow's live show obviously will be a lot more in-depth and thought out. That's why I do it this way. Now here's what I want to get to, okay? The NBA partnered with Playback TV. I was just streaming on Playback TV, so I guess technically I'm being paid by the NBA. But what I just witnessed in this game was embarrassing for the NBA. What I just witnessed in this game was the NBA should be embarrassed for what I just witnessed. But they won't be, because they needed the story. They needed the Damian Lillard record debut, 39 points in his debut. They needed that story. They needed this. And it was so obvious. It was so blatantly obvious, it's ridiculous. NBA, what happened? What happened to the new flopping rule, NBA? Oh, we're implementing a flopping rule, and now players are going to be given technical fouls for flopping. I saw more flops rewarded in this fucking game. I saw more flops rewarded in this game under your new flop rule, apparently, than I saw all goddamn last season. I saw more flops rewarded in this game than I saw all last season. So what's up with your new flop rule, NBA? Where is it? The first damn fucking minute of this game was a disgrace. It was a disgrace. You gave Tyrese Maxey 2 fouls in the first 30 seconds of the game for trying to just guard Damian Lillard on the perimeter. You're just ghost fouling for touching his jersey in the first minute of the fucking game. And then throughout the whole game, all Damian Lillard has to do is step to the side on a 3, shoot the ball, fucking jumping sideways, throw himself on the floor, and they called it every single time. Yeah, congratulations, you dropped 39 in your debut, and fucking 20 of them were from the free throw line. It was pathetic. It was absolutely pathetic. And every run the Sixers made, the Bucks came to every run the Sixers made, the refs started blowing whistles and the Bucks shot 7 free throws in a row. Every single run the Sixers made, the referees went on a fucking whistle-happy tangent. And I said on the stream, I said, don't worry, guys. If the Sixers get close in the fourth quarter, the referees are going to end it. And what happened? Giannis catches his own air ball, no travel call. The next time down the floor, Kelly Oubre sets a screen. Jay Crowder puts two hands on him and pushes himself onto the floor, and the officials call a moving screen going the other way. No review, no nothing, moving screen. Absolutely ridiculously pathetic call. I mean, that was the most obvious flop on a screen I think I've ever seen, and they rewarded it. Then Giannis comes in. What happened? They called an offensive foul. The Bucks challenged it, and they changed it to a no call. Forgive me if I get this wrong. There were so many things that was clear as day that even they watched on replay and got wrong. I can't even think of them right now because I'm so heated. But there was like 3 different reviews. The one was, what was it, man? What were they reviewing? It was a Giannis. Okay, Giannis drove in, finished in traffic, and they called an and one because the referees just blow whistles as an exclamation point. If they see Giannis score, they just blow the whistle. Giannis is a football player. All he does is puts his shoulder down, plows into the lane, and gets a foul call every single time. But they reviewed that one, and the Sixers were challenging it because P.J. Tucker took a charge. Standing straight up, he took a charge from Giannis. Sixers challenge it. They review it. They say, okay, it wasn't a defensive foul. We apologize for calling a ghost foul like we've been doing the whole game. But there wasn't enough contact for us to call it a charge. So P.J. Tucker was in position to take a charge. Giannis made contact with him. P.J. took the charge. But the NBA officials decided that there wasn't enough contact for it to be a charge. So they just made up some fucking rules on the spot. Because I don't think that's how the rule works. I don't think you get to decide, yeah, he ran into the charge, but he didn't run into it hard enough. It's a goddamn charge. What are we doing, NBA? Sixers fans, there's a reason to be positive. Because according to the narrative, the Sixers should have got blown out in this game. The fact that James Harden isn't playing, we have a new coach, and the Bucks won by 1 point is a positive for us. The Bucks should be this, wait till you hear it on ESPN tomorrow. Oh my God, who's going to stop the Bucks? Who's going to stop the Bucks? Dame is lights out. Who's going to stop the Bucks? They're not going to mention the fact that they only won by 1 point to the Sixers, who are supposed to be bad because James Harden quit. I told you guys there's reason to believe in this Sixers team. And shout out to my guy RB. I just saw a tweet from him that said, Nick Nurse made more adjustments in this game than any Sixers coach in the last 3 years. And it's true. I would still like to see less P.J. Tucker. I would like to see more Jaden Springer. But realistically, I can't be upset with what I saw from the 76ers from that standpoint. I'm pissed off at how the NBA blatantly fixed the end of that game, and you can't tell me different.